welcome back around Top the Wall. My name is not actually important. It is listed on this channel. The important thing is I'm a depressed man on the internet with a lot of alcohol in his system and nothing better to do. So today, I'm going to, no, wait. We are going to check out this deck that I made, and we're probably going to enjoy it because I am doing Alta, the Enchantress. So originally what I was thinking for this deck was I was going to cheat an Avacyn Angel of Hope into play, or Blightsteel Colossus, just right off the top, by cracking an egg made by Alta. But unfortunately, that's a little clunky and a little odd, but I'm going to try the next best thing anyway, and that is putting some creatures into play that help me draw a lot of cards. I'm going to cheat mana cost and draw a lot of cards. That's just as good as cheating something huge into play, right? Yeah, sure. So the creatures in the deck, besides all of our great, beautiful enchantresses, here is Nelea's Colossus, and we got our Academy Grandma. Academy Grandma, she dies, gets an enchantment, she's great. Love her. Nelea's Colossus, on the other hand, is a 7-mana 6/6, but when it enters the battlefield, or in another enchantment enters the battlefield, you get to double target creature's power. And you can do that multiple times. So you just play 3 enchantments in a row, and you can turn this thing into a 48/48, which is not hard in a deck that has 37 other enchantments. Actually, 38 other enchantments. Man, that's a lot of enchantments. So the last finishers of the deck that we have to win us the game is Earthcraft and Squirrel Nest. Squirrel Nest has the ability to tap and make a 1/1 squirrel. Gives any land the ability to tap and make a 1/1 squirrel. And we have Earthcraft, which allows us to tap an untapped creature we control to untap a basic land. So we can just repeatedly make a squirrel, untap the land, go off, make infinite squirrels. And we also have a throne, a sigil of the empty throne. Here we are. And it makes 4/4 Sarah Angels, which is so sweet. Oh, I lied. There is actually one more finisher in the deck. It is Sandworm Convergence. Great way to make 5/5s. Like every Enchantress deck, we have our ways of protecting ourselves. We have our Elephant Grass. We have our Ghostly Prison, our Island Sanctuary. We have our Righteous Auras. And we have our Spheres of Safety. All these cards help protect us. We also have a few ways of protecting our stuff. We have our Shielded by Faith, which protects our creatures. Privileged Position gives our permanents hexproof. We also have some Silver Bullets and some hate cards in our deck. We have our Rest in Peace to fight through graveyards. We got our Cinder Vines to fight those annoying Storm decks and annoying non-creature spell decks that try to go off. We have Aura of Silence to hate on other enchantment decks and artifact decks, and we have Leyline of Sanctity to give us hexproof. And what is a deck without a little bit of removal? We have our Grasp of Fate, is kind of like a sweet Oblivion Ring that scales with a game of Commander. We also have our Song of the Dryads, because who doesn't like turning things into trees? I like trees. We have Phylactery Nodes, which is a way to keep creatures in check by blowing up the smallest creature on the board. We choose the egg. We have our Seals of Cleansing, which is like a disenchant, but it's a little bit slower, and we actually can draw cards off of it, which is why it's in here. We have our good old Corrosion Grip, another disenchant card, but it has split second, making it nearly uncounterable. We also have a Soul Snare in the deck, which exiles a creature that's attacking us or one of our planeswalkers. Does a really good imitation of Swords to Plowshares and goes really well with our actual Swords to Plowshares. We got a Vandal Blast because Vandal Blast. Angelic Purge is kind of like a Vindicate, but it gives us the ability to sack one of our permanents. We sack an egg. We also have all of our wrath spells. So we got Austere Command, we have Divine Reckoning, we have Fell of the Mighty. Choose an egg. We blow up everything bigger than the egg. We have Fiery Confluence, which is a modal spell that can hit creatures, so eggs. We can hit our opponents. We can blow up artifacts, mostly eggs. We also have our good old Wrath of God, because sometimes we just want to wrath the board. We also got a lot of rampant fixing in our in our green deck. Yeah, we have a lot of rampant fixing in the green deck. We have Abundant Growth And we have Unbridled Growth to fix and replace themselves and count as enchantments. We have Burgeoning, and we have Exploration that lets us play extra lands to go with all that great card draw. We have Fertile Ground. We have Trace of Abundance somewhere. Trace of Abundance, and we have Wild Growth, each giving us an extra mana. Market Festival gives us 2 extra mana, and so does Overgrowth. Curse of Opulence makes us some treasures, and we also have where's Smothering Tithe to make a ton of treasures every time the opponent draws a card. Mirari's Wake lets all of our lands tap for 1 extra mana. Amazing. We also have our Horror to ramp us, and we have our Primal Growth to pretty much let us sack an egg and ramp. We also have a bunch of tutors in the deck. Some of them are like Plea for Guidance, Idyllic Tutor, and our Enlightened Tutor just go and find us an enchantment. We also have a Worldly Tutor that lets us essentially just pick the next thing that we want to cheat into play. We can just wait for the egg dying trigger to go onto the stack, and then in response, Worldly Tutor, go get Blightsteel Colossus, or an Enchantress if you don't want to win that turn, and just put that on top, let the trigger resolve, put that creature into play. Then we also have a Defense of the Heart, which is a odd kind of tutor card, but it's really powerful in Commander. Essentially, if our opponents have 3 or more creatures at our upkeep, we can sack this thing, and we get to put 2 creatures from our deck into play. Sterling Grove is another weird one in our deck that allows us to tutor for an enchantment by sacking it, or it gives all of our other enchantments Shroud. A lot of times we just end up leaving it up for Shroud to sort of go with the privileged position, but earlier in the game it can be pretty useful. Then for a little bit of card advantage, we got our Sylvan Library and Miri's Guile. Don't forget about Soul Ring, because Soul Ring, we have 1 Replenish, and that should be the last non-land card of the deck. It just returns all of our enchantment cards from our graveyard to play. For our mana base, we have all of the fetch lands in our colors. We have some of the Khan's dual lands that gain us life. We have the Battle Bond dual lands that will fit in our deck. We have Buddy lands, Command Tower, some basics. We have a Strip Mine and a Ghost Quarter to help fight our opponent's mana bases. And we have, yes, my High Market and my Keldon Necropolis. These ones either let us throw an egg or eat an egg. Got a couple of shock lands in the deck. And finally, we have 1 Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Such a kind and noble man. You really just give it up for Heliod after he stabbed Elsbeth to death. Yeah, what a philanthropist. My God. He allows us to return an enchantment card from our graveyard to the top of our library. So we can choose something like Sterling Grove to just continuously get enchantments from our deck. God, no. Alright, and that is the deck. I know, I normally put dual lands and different high-cost mana rocks like the Diamond Mox and also something like Mana Crypt or whatever in the deck, but just because I have those cards doesn't mean that everybody can have those cards in their deck, and I should probably not make $1,000 Commander deck every time that I see Commander that I like. So if you like this deck and you think that, I don't know, maybe I did something wrong, or you think maybe I should put those expensive cards back in the deck, or maybe you'd like just a copy of this deck list to have on your own free tapped.net account. This is not sponsored, by the way. I just really like the service because it's free and it's awesome, and you can find all the kinds of decks that you want online on this website. Also, you can just get a deck breakdown just in the corner. You can count the number of cards in the deck. You can count the number of mana symbols on all of your lands and all of your non-land permanents, which is sweet. You can see your curve laid out before you. I wonder what that is, that 12 mana cost card. Oh, it's Blightsteel. What else could it be? Let me know in the comments below, and definitely do check this deck out on tapped.net. Otherwise, coming in for that face touch.